Howdy Summers. If you didn't know, I have a shell challenge going on at the moment, and the original deadline was May 30th, but because of console glitches and the gallery maintenance that went on for a few days, I've actually extended it to June 30th. So if you're interested in getting any entries in, or you had no clue that I had a shell challenge going on, I'll link the video about that in the description for you guys. But whenever I make a shell challenge, I always participate in it and do like my own version of it, just so you can kind of see what I do. But even though I love doing shell challenges and I always participate in my own, I never really do shell challenges by other people. However, my friend Jules currently has a shell challenge going on right now to celebrate 1 year of her streaming on Twitch. So I will leave some links to her Twitch channel and her Twitter for you guys if you want to check her out. She's very sweet, very cool, very chill. And I think you guys really like her, especially if you like my content, so this footage is actually from my stream. If you didn't know, I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern. And I play a variety of games right now. I've been playing Sunhaven and also Roots of Pacha with my fiance, and I'm making my way through Dream Daddy. So if you're interested, I always leave the link to my Twitch channel in the description for you guys, every single video, so it's always there. But I decided to stream my entry basically for this challenge. So I don't do Sims content much on Twitch because I try to save it all for YouTube typically. But on the occasion, I will jump into like Sims Medieval, or I'll do some building in The Sims 4. And yeah, so my friend described this as like a nightmare thing, and when I looked at it originally, I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. It was pretty bad. I struggled with the roofing so hard, which I think you'll see many attempts of me trying to get this roofing right in this video. But oh man, it was such a struggle. And because I was limited on packs as well, my friend does not have every Sims pack, and I do. I kind of had to be careful of what packs I used and what packs I didn't use. I had to keep an eye on what I was using to make sure that I didn't use any packs that she didn't have. And there were a few extra rules. I couldn't make the size like any bigger, which of course, you know, when you're making a shell challenge, or when you're doing a shell challenge rather, you can't change any of the exterior walls, you know, you can't make any adjustments or whatever. So that was like a standard thing, but she didn't let us add a basement either, which I'm still on the fence about whether or not I would allow basements in my shell challenges. Like, I don't know. It's not something I've ever considered. But yeah, so there was a struggle. It's a very small build. It's a 64 tile lot, so it's not a micro home, but it is a like tiny home. So I did what I could. I did have to use the Better Build By mod from Twisted Mexi to kind of get me through some of this. And I also attempted to experiment with Tool a little bit, and you'll see why kind of later. I think I actually cut it out in the video though, just because it didn't end up working out. But one of her other rules was that we had to hide a Baby Yoda statue, like that child statue from the game, somewhere in the build. And I actually kind of hid it a few times because I thought it would be funnier that way. But at one point I decide I want to put the Baby Yoda in the pool that I add later on. And I wanted to make it look like he was in like a life preserver type thing. Couldn't find a life preserver for the life of me. I looked so hard, and the only thing I could really find was debug, but I think I recently saw that there is actually like something that came with Island Living that is literally just the preserver, but I couldn't like use the tool mod to flip it to be laying down instead of like up this way, if that makes sense. Because I have no idea how to use tool. I'm still working on it, but yeah, I think I ended up using some kind of like pool light or something that I just like raise up really high, and then it's a lot of adjusting. It's really annoying, really tedious. I'm never doing that again. But yeah, to the actual build, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going for originally, but I don't know. I was digging this like yellow and brick combo on the house, which I think I actually like at one point thought about changing, but I didn't end up doing it. For the inside, I put some test furniture down firstly to kind of come up with a layout for this build. I wanted to make sure that the layout would be functional and everything would work. So here I am currently just placing down some filler furniture. It's not anything final that I use. What I do actually end up going with in the final product is more of this like industrial look, but there's no like pipes or anything or like cogs and wheels. So it's more of just like a DIY looking house almost. It's a lot of like wood and metal type stuff, but it gives me industrial vibes just minus all of the extra industrialness. So I actually have this entry available on the gallery for you guys. I called it the industrial-ish house. So, because it's like semi stuff, you know? Um, but yeah, I'm really happy that the layout ended up working though, because I don't build tiny houses a lot. I don't really do this stuff. I do like semi-big homes, sometimes cozy like cottage vibes almost, but not really cottage style. You know, I build stuff that's bigger than this typically. So originally what I was gonna go for was kind of this like light feeling, but because I brought that brick from outside into the house in the kitchen, that's kind of where I started thinking, hey, what if I do like industrial type vibes here? So I keep the brick and kind of go with this more like interesting kind of thing. So, which I think I actually end up using a lot of base game stuff for that. So, that's really cool. So, um, yeah, luckily I was allowed to use every expansion pack. Jules does have all the expansions currently, and I'm really thankful for that because if she didn't, I think I would be in a lot more trouble than I was just because expansions have so much. Especially compared to the other types of packs that we have, you know, the game packs, stuff packs, and the kits. So, yeah, I was struggling a little bit to not use other packs, but I'm very grateful that she has all of the expansion stuff. Also, yes, I closed up on Baby Yoda for a moment. So I had this idea of like hiding him up on the fridge and all that stuff, and I hide him in the fruit bowl that I put on this dining table later on. And yeah, this is kind of where I started having to use the tool mod a little bit. So I was trying to get this bread box to go on top of the fridge, and it was giving me a little bit of trouble. I didn't want to dig out the OMSP like red shelf that I have in my custom content. So what I ended up doing was using one of these like modular shelves from Dream Home Decorator. And then when I still couldn't get it perfect, I used Tool to kind of lower the bread box a little bit so it wasn't floating as much. But it is what it is. I did something with Tool. I can say that. um, but yeah, at one point I get like so far into the stuff like furnishing, and then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to put windows literally anywhere. So I do go back to actually put windows on the house. Just I don't really remember when. I ended up using this high school years desk. I don't know why, but like the kind of like rusty and I don't know that swatch of it not being like full on perfect gave me industrial vibes, which is really really weird. But I went with it anyway, just because you know it looks a little bit like maybe old fashioned or so. I'm really happy that she had Moschino stuff because I got to use these really nice windows that I feel could fit the industrial vibe. So, yeah, I do love these windows. I feel like I don't use them a lot though. But for this space, you know, I was happy with being able to use these. So, I feel like they kind of helped the industrial vibe a little bit. So, it may look weird on the outside, but on the inside, it looks good to me. So, and that's really what matters, right? It doesn't matter what the outside looks like, as long as the inside is fine. You're not really ever gonna see the outside anyway. Yeah. I actually used a lot of get to work stuff as well. So like those stairs, I don't know why I didn't just use regular stairs, but I was like, let's embrace the industrialness, and I just went with those stairs from get to work, and they are fine. So, I do use this like orangey swatch, and I don't know. I thought that it kind of matched well with the kitchen a little bit, so I went with it, and I still think it went well with the kitchen. But I just, I don't know why I went with the orange, but I mean, it looks nice. So, yeah. Also, if you guys saw my video going over the kits, you may remember I mentioned that every build was going to have a secret library in it from now on because of the kit. Um, this is probably the one exception, just because Jules does not have that kit at the moment, and I didn't want to use it because she didn't have it. So there is no secret library in this build. So yeah, but I mean, it is super functional. We have the TV unit from Tiny Living, which has the bookshelf, a radio, and the TV. So it's like we've got a lot of entertainment stuff right there. And yeah, so you can see I'm trying to hide a baby Yoda in that fruit bowl. And it takes some maneuvering. So yeah. But overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. And I don't do a lot of like industrial type builds typically. And I don't even know if you guys would consider this an industrial build, but it gave me industrial vibes. So that's just kind of what I'm rolling with. I do end up play testing this house just to make sure that everything works properly and there are some adjustments that I need to make. So I had to delete like a plant or two, which kind of sucked. You know, we need some greenery in places. We have a lot of brown and stuff going on, but it is what it is. I worked with what I got, and in the end, I think it turned out fine. So yeah. Upstairs, I decided to kind of keep this area open to the bedroom because it's a small house anyway. I didn't really see a point in walling off this area. Plus, I figured they might have smoother routing if I left that open. So, because the bedroom itself is kind of a small area already. So I was like, putting a door on is just gonna make it even harder to get into. So they can just walk right in instead of having to worry about a door, and everything is fine. So, yeah, it's an open space. The bathroom, of course, is closed off, but like you just walk upstairs and take a left, and there's the bedroom. So, yeah. I did try to do some kind of like wall texture thing here, but it wasn't really working out. I just felt like that wall was so plain and I needed something. I did actually debate like putting pipes on that wall for a little bit, but I wasn't gonna. And then of course I had to add another Baby Yoda because I don't know. I just thought it would be fun. So yeah. I ended up putting a hanging plant in this room, just trying to get more color and more greenery around. So the best way to brighten up a space, usually that is really dark, is just to throw some plants in, you know, bring in some kind of color, and plants typically do that fairly well. So the top part of the house is actually the smallest part, I think, compared to the bottom. So I of course couldn't put a full-size shower in. I had to use the university one, which was perfectly fine. No, it's a functional bathroom. It's not very big, but it works and everything is functional, which at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. So yeah, we also have this like kind of rooftop patio area through that yellow door. And I tried to put a telescope out there originally, but for some reason it said that the telescope was indoors and couldn't be used, and I was like, but it's on a balcony. It's outside. It's just like covered by a roof. But which I'm guessing is probably why, because there is always that chance of the meteor coming down and, you know, killing your sim, and it can't easily access your sim with the roof on it. So, yeah. So here I am trying to replace the telescope after playtesting and seeing it's not working. I just put this cactus there that I had attempted to put in the bathroom originally, but my sim couldn't get to the toilet with the cactus there. I really wanted that cactus in the bathroom though, because I thought it would be funny to just like be taking a shower right next to a cactus. There's always a chance that you're gonna get like pricked by it, and I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I'm cruel, aren't I? Not that it can really happen to your Sims. In terms of landscaping, we all know I am not the best at landscaping, but I did make an effort. So we got giant fence basically all around. I did keep it open on one side just to not mess with like tile count, and I didn't want it to like ruin all my progress or anything. So yeah, I make this like T-shaped pool just because I felt like the regular one wasn't big enough. So I made it into the letter T, and I think it's big enough now. It's a decent size. Not big enough for one of those pool floaties, though, unfortunately. But we've got a simple backyard, just the pool, the grill, and a picnic table, and then I put a lot of terrain paint down. So, yeah, that was like the most tedious part, I think, out of all of this was just like how much terrain paint I had to use for this. And I decided to put terrain paint all around the fence too, and then just do like hedges everywhere. It was a whole thing. This landscaping is. Life would be so much better if we just didn't have to worry about landscaping. I know in Sims builds, really, you don't have to worry about landscaping. It's not like a big deal. But at the same time, you know, you want the builds to look nice, and they usually look pretty nice when there's actual landscaping and they look like they fit into an area and aren't just like there. So, yeah. And then here's my after attempt at trying to put Baby Yoda into the pool on a life preserver. So, like I said, I cut out the process of that. I swear I tried to like maneuver tool and like figure it out for like 3 minutes straight, and I could not figure out how to do stuff, and nah. So I don't use tool. I'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. But oh man, I really don't know how often I'm gonna use tool, but I figured I would give it another shot, and nah. I don't even really use Better Build Buy that much, but mainly because I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, and like it didn't seem to be working for me, and I finally figured out the problem after reinstalling it for like the fifth time or so. So I got it now, and now that I've actually got it working, it's all done and stuff. Now that I'm actually done with the build, let me go ahead and show you what I did with it without it being very speedy and whatnot. Alright, so here is the finished house. I actually went with a different roof texture than normal. So I usually go for like the pitch black roof basically. But I thought that the brown actually suited the yellow and brick better than the black did. And so I kind of went with that. I know it's hard to tell, but I did put it on all the roofs. It's just the lighting, I promise. But yeah, even though there was a trash can right here too, I had to put a trash can on the actual lot because it did not process that there was a trash can right out front, so it is what it is. But we walk through here and we have a lot of like glass going on, so you can see right into the house basically. But you walk in and you are immediately in a kitchen. But over here we have the little computer set up. There's a trash can over here. There's a thermostat because most of us have seasons, I think. So figured that was a good thing to add into here. But this is the kitchen. So I'm very, very thankful that the appliances match. I did want to find a counter set that had that same like coppery brown tone. Was not happening. So, and this kitchen's actually like entirely base game too, I think, actually. The counters are base game, the appliances are base game. I am now seeing that the bread box is still floating a little bit, but whatever. I made an effort. So, yeah, but we got Baby Yoda there. Unfortunately, we don't have matching upper cabinets for the countertops, but I did what I could. And then over here we have a little dining section, which you can see Baby Yoda is chilling there as well. Also, the texture on that grapes, holy. But there we go with that. And then over here we have the very small living room. So we have just a love seat, a little coffee table with a plant on it, and then we have that TV, radio, book unit from Tiny Living. And then we go up the stairs. I debated putting some kind of plant or something on the stairs, but I had a feeling that it wouldn't work and the Sims wouldn't be able to get up to this floor if it was on there. I added this little like deconstructed chicken thing as well. I can't remember what that's from, but I thought it would kind of suit the vibes a little bit, so I went with it. Up here we have very small, thin, like landing hallway area. It's very crowded in here. this is the bathroom. So it's nothing fancy. We've got the shower here, and then just a sink and a toilet, and yeah. And then through here is the bedroom. This is all like a very small space, but here we go. I think this is honestly kind of a cute room, honestly, as small as it is. We've got another Baby Yoda hanging out on the tiny living dresser. And then we come back through here, and we go through this bright yellow door out onto the balcony where I have just an easel and that cactus. And then you actually can't get to the backyard through the house. You just kind of come through here. I left the section open just so you could actually access the backyard. So, yeah. But there's a pathway leading all the way to the back here, where you've got the grill, you've got picnic table, and the T-shaped pool with another Baby Yoda and a life preserver. So, yeah, this is the house, and it's up on the gallery for you guys right now if you want to get it. And then, of course, there is the original build, which is the Jules the Dane 1-year shell on my friend Jules's gallery as well. So she's just Jules the Dane on the gallery, Twitter, Twitch. Again, I'll leave the links to her Twitter and Twitch in the description for you guys. But that is all that I have for you guys today. So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, if you liked the build, and let me know if you guys are going to try out Jules' challenge as well. All of the info for this shell challenge will be on the gallery or on her Twitter. She made like a whole picture thing for it, so definitely make sure to check her out. And yeah, let me know if there are any shell challenges you guys want me to do, if you guys have any going on that I can check out and maybe submit an entry to. Maybe. I do want to try to get more into doing other people's shell challenges as not my own. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss anything. Be sure to follow my socials. Links are below. I'll see y'all soon. Bye!